Okay, so about 6 months ago, I started working overnight at Lowe's. Now, I really like this job. I get to listen to my podcasts and audiobooks. The people I work with are pretty laid back. I work by myself for the most part, and most importantly, I hardly have to deal with the customers. And if you ever worked in retail, you know how important that really is. While I do enjoy working there, over the past 6 months, I've seen some really crazy things. It started off small and not really a lot. The first thing I saw happen, I originally thought it was just some kind of glitch. See, in the Lowe's I work at, there are 2 bathrooms set up for the employees in the back corner of the store. When I first started working there, I didn't know what they were because they were just marked employees only. But I quickly found out after I had walked the length of the store to find a bathroom, which another employee had told me there it was. But of course, I walked right by it. Anyway, back to the point. In these bathrooms, the lights work on a motion sensor. You know the types. Well, as I was walking past, I could see the light come on from under the door. I thought it was a bit weird because there were only 2 other people in the store and I knew where they were. I went up and knocked on the door. There was no answer, so I opened it and it was completely empty. Like I said, it wasn't much, so I really didn't think it. The next thing that happened was small as well. If you ever been to Lowe's, you might have noticed some of the more expensive items having a little green thing attached to them. We call them turtles and there are alarms. If someone tries to steal something with a turtle on them, once they go through the doors, they start letting out a high-pitched noise, which is very hard to ignore. I was talking some coking listening to the Adam Carolla podcast when I started hearing an alarm go off. It confused me, so I went looking for it. It took a little bit, but I finally found where it was coming from. It was a drill that was sitting on the ground and not right up front either. It was buried about 4 drills deep and under another display. As I was pulling the drills out to get to the one that had the turtle going off, another one next to me started going off. I will tell you that I nearly jumped out of my skin. I radioed my manager, Mike, and told him about it, and he said that it's okay. Those things go off all the time. What was weird was at the exact time Mike told me that, both turtles shut off. I chalked it up to the coincidence and nothing more. Oh, how naive I was. Nothing else seemed to happen for about 2 weeks and I had put those instances long behind me. I mean, why wouldn't I? Faulty sensor and sensitive turtles sounded likely to me. I'm not, was not one to just jump to the supernatural explanation. To put it mildly, I wasn't a believer. Oh sure, I wish there were things that went bump in the night. I'm a longtime fan of supernatural and shows like Ghost Hunters and I always watched Josh Gates. Man, I wish I had that man's life. If I can ever catch him on, but I never experienced anything myself. That was until about a month after working at Lowe's. It had started just like any night. Went in around 7, clocked in and started unloading the truck. It was about 9:30 by the time we were done and everyone else had left the store, so it was just us 3 of the night crew. For the most part, it was a pretty normal night. I was listening to a newly downloaded audiobook by Mark Taffo. Working on the 3rd card by this time. It was close to about 2 a.m. and I was working in my way down towards electrical to restock some fuses when I saw it. Honestly, I just kinda stood there more about a minute or two, trying to make heads or tail on what I was seeing, because a little bit over halfway down the aisle, there was an arm sticking out from under the shelving racks. It kept moving around as if someone was reaching under their couch to look for the lost remote. Once I got at least some of my wits back, I called Mike. "Mike," I said. "Yeah, what's up?" Mike called back. Mike, I got, an arm," I tried to say. "Oh, that thing?" Mike said, surprisingly unsurprised. "Yeah, don't worry about it. Just don't get too close. It tends to get a bit grabby. It's fast and its reach is farther than it looks. So just stay away from that aisle for now." I was actually flabbergasted at how lightly Mike was taking it. I said, not really knowing what else to say. "What aisle is it in, by the way?" Mike asked. "Aisle 13. Okay, just steer clear of it for now. I'll explain more later on." What I have come to understand is that no one really knows anything about the arm. It shows up, tries to grab things and pull them under the shelving. That's about it. I've seen it about 7 times now. Never in the same aisle either, and it never shows up at the same time. The only thing it seems to be constant is that has it always gone back under the shelving just before 4 a.m. One time when I saw it, I chucked a can of spray paint at it. The moment that can hit the aisle floor, the arm shot out and snatched it and sucked it back under the shelving. And when I say it shot out, I mean it shot out. It must have reached 3 times of the length of a normal arm and back under the shelving in less than a second. After I saw that, I followed Mike's suggestion and just avoided those aisles that it was in until it went back under itself. That's all the time I got right now. I have a lot more stories like the thing that lives in the garden center and the naked little man I keep seeing. That's one's a bit weirder than others. I'll try to write some more down later, and remember to have a Lowe's safe day.